And then when they seen him, they whooped Lil Jeff, jumped on him or fought him. And then next thing you know, it turned spiraled into like Lil Jeff came out of nowhere actually.
Hey, now I heard King Von say in one of his songs, "You not a unless you got two bodies."
Exactly. Now you get it.
Damn, so that's real.
Real.
You've probably heard the name King Von thrown around in rap circles, but there's a whole other beast in the drill scene that people don't talk about enough. Lil Jeff.
You gotta at least have two bodies though. Coming with no, if you ain't got, I can't work with no beginners folk.
A dangerous rapper and a ruthless K'er, Lil Jeff made his mark on the streets before he ever dropped a track. They called him the evil King Von for a reason.
Hell nah. You had to protect yourself. You was scared for your life. So if you didn't shoot that gun, you died.
From claiming to have 11 bodies under his belt,
I'm gonna bust your head. 11.
You gonna be 8 and I'ma scan your scary to hell.
to getting caught in a shootout on IG Live.
Oh, that bitch tweet.
Lil Jeff's wild moments are straight out of a horror movie. So, how did Lil Jeff become the terrifying figure he is today? What makes someone go from the mic to Emder? Let's find out.
I feel if I get mad enough, the shit will start happening. And y'all know this by now.
Lil Jeff wasn't just spitting bars. He was he was living that life, and not in the way you'd want anyone to. If you're keeping up with the Chicago drill scene, you've probably noticed a new star rising recently. This guy's appeal is similar to what made King Von so popular. He's got that personal charisma and a rep for actually living the life he raps about. And what he raps about? Some of the wildest, most violent stuff coming out of one of the most dangerous cities in America.
10 million, yeah, this got some kids did what they did and had to pay the consequences.
Now, Lil Jeff, allegedly responsible for offing at least 7 people, boasting about it, and even planning more hits, basically checks all the boxes for what the FBI considers a serial killer. Now, fast forward a few months, and there's another rapper on the rise who not only claims to have offed more people than Von, but also raps about it and literally styles himself after famous serial killers. I'm talking about Bloody Hound, or Bloodhound Lil Jeff. The guy's calling himself the Jeffrey Dahmer of Chicago drill.
I'm Bloodhound, that's the gang. He trying to claim, but he a lame. We don't know that nigga.
He's the next big thing in the scene, with crazy claims like having 10, 11 bodies under his belt. He raps about it like it's no big deal, comparing his life to a video game like Call of Duty and saying he's got 10 Ks under his belt. Even comparing himself to basketball legend Bill Russell, implying he's knocked off as many people as Russell's won championship rings. Interestingly, unlike King Von, who was deep in the streets since he was a kid, Lil Jeff would claim that he only really got involved in the street life around the age of 18, right after graduating high school. In just a few years, he allegedly racked up a crazy body count, with all these supposed Emders happening in such a short time.
I shot 12 times.
All to the chest?
I'm not sure. 12 times.
Damn. That's what that switch do.
Jeff became known for his wild antics too, proving he was a total loose cannon. One of his most infamous moments was during a DJU interview where he snorted crushed up pills. Then, there was the time he apparently shot his gun at someone during an Instagram live. And let's not forget how he openly bragged about robbing people for their designer watches.
That's it, $10. That cost him his whole hustle career. Everything he worked hard for, it cost lost it all.
Comparing Lil Jeff to King Von might upset some people. And sure, Jeff's star power and rap skills weren't anywhere near what Von had. But then again, Von had the backing of Lil Durk, the biggest artist in the drill scene. Plus, Von was a few years older and had already built his reputation in the streets long before his rap career blew up. By the time Von passed in November 2020, he was already a legend in the rap game and the boogeyman of Chicago drill. Jeff, on the other hand, was still very much in the streets while trying to find his rhythm and voice in rap.
You know, people are saying that he was trying to be the next King Von.
I mean, when you Vons don't last long in this game.
No, man.
They either die or go to jail.
Yeah.
Lil Jeff's style was pretty controversial, and divisive among drill fans, but there's no denying he was evolving as an artist. His high-pitched voice gave him this unique, almost Joker-like sound. Unfortunately, we'll never know how far his music career could have gone. On June 8th, 2024, Lil Jeff was shot and offed on the south side of Chicago, just half a mile away from Parkway Gardens, aka O Block, which King Von was famously tied to. As always, Lil Jeff's death was captured on surveillance footage, and it quickly went viral in the drill community. But it wasn't just the fact that he died, it was how he died. The video that leaked showed a masked up Lil Jeff getting shot as he was trying to chase another man into his house, shooting wildly in his direction. Ironically, he had even rapped about doing something like that in his songs before. After Lil Jeff's death, the media attention around him really blew up. Even bigger platforms like No Jumper, who hadn't reported on him before, started including him in their content. Meanwhile, the obsessed online detectives on the Chirology subreddit went into overdrive. In the days following his death, the platform was flooded with threads and comments from both fans and haters. His most dedicated fans, now calling themselves Lil Jeffologists, even started their own subreddit just to discuss their new king of drill. Some of the posts were almost comical, with fans sharing how devastated they were, claiming they couldn't sleep or were depressed for days after Jeff's death. These fans spoke about how the loss of their demonic favorite rapper hit them hard, and despite his alleged 11 Mders, they felt a personal connection to him. They described his key air aura as something that resonated deeply with them. As time passed, updates came in from people still struggling with the loss, with one user saying it had been a week since Jeff's death, and they still couldn't get over it. One even said they wanted to drill themselves to join Jeff in the afterlife, and asked for tips on how to grieve. Another update, a few days later, explained how the user had been saying Jeff's name in the mirror, hoping to bring him back. They claimed to feel Jeff's presence and saw his reflection flashing money at them in store windows.
They were paid to one guy and they ended up 3 guys, and then there's a bunch of lyrics where Jeff and Q50 have these little bars where they're talking about my first hit was a 2 for 1, or I'm in Milwaukee doing hits for the change. My first hit.
One person wrote, "People hate on TLR for literally reporting what these young dumb rappers are telling you. They're literally telling you they're carrying people in songs, but you don't have the same energy for them. This whole bizarre, twisted fan culture really shows how far Chicago drill has gone. The way fans have adored Lil Jeff even surpasses some of the wildest King Von glazing seen online. Chicago drill has truly become a place where music, internet fandom, and real-life crime all collide. It's crazy how the people involved in this world are getting offed by the hundreds each year. And when it comes to combining music with true crime, Lil Jeff's story stands out as one of the wildest in recent years. But even with all this attention, Lil Jeff's story is still full of mystery. While he was no stranger to bragging about his reckless actions on the streets, he was a relatively new face in the scene, appearing out of nowhere just a few years ago. This makes his claims of having double-digit bodies sound pretty outrageous, which is why many drill fans have quickly dismissed those claims as just lies.
Hey, now I heard King Von say in one of his songs, "You not unless you got 2 bodies."
Exactly, now you get it.
Damn, so that's real?
Real.
Lil Jeff came from an area that hasn't really gotten much attention in mainstream media about drill culture. So in this video, we're diving deep into the life and music career of Bloodhound Lil Jeff to figure out whether he was really a street demon with 11 bodies to his name, or just some wannabe serial killer who got caught up in the social media hype and ended up getting taken out. Lil Jeff, born Jeffrey Lamar Harris, on July 5, 2002, was named after his father, who shares the same name. His family mostly lived around the east side of Chicago, but this east side isn't the official one. It's more of a part of Chicago folklore. People argue over where it starts and ends, but many say it covers areas from State Street all the way to Lake Michigan, including places like O Block, where King Von was known to rep, and rival hoods like STL, EBT, and Gyro City. But typically, these areas are referred to as part of the South Side, not the East Side. One thing we do know is that Lil Jeff's family was closely connected to the people he would later go to war with, including the person many believe was responsible for his death. While there's no solid proof about who actually pulled the trigger, it's clear that Jeff's family ties were intertwined with the very people he had beef with. One person wrote, "That's why it's stupid to join a gang, cause either you in jail, get off by ops, or get off by the people you hang out with. It's a lose-lose situation no matter what." As for the rumors about Lil Jeff's alleged body count, they're all over the place. Some say he's really a demon out here catching bodies, while others deny he ever offed anyone. But what's clear is that Jeff was deeply involved in the streets. There are videos from the 424 showing him rolling around the city, strapped with guns and ready to do whatever. However, it didn't happen overnight. Jeff didn't become the hardened gangster he was known as until later in life. Some of the earliest reports about his alleged MDers date back to 2014, with the first supposed body being that of an 18-year-old named Marley Ma, real name Kamal Burton, who was said to be tied to the H-Ray mob. But back in 2014, Jeff would have only been around 12 years old, and it's hard to picture a scrawny 12-year-old being mistaken for an adult. Still, Jeff's older brother, Boogie, was 16 at the time, and he looked older than his age, which could explain some of the confusion. In time, we'll probably learn more about Jeff's younger years, but based on his own accounts, it seems like he didn't really get into the streets until around 20. During his last year of high school. Before that, he was focusing on basketball and had big dreams of going pro. But despite that, Jeff's childhood wasn't exactly normal. He opened up in an interview about how his father wasn't really around while he was growing up, likely because his dad was involved in street life himself, possibly with the 068C block. On top of that, Jeff's older brother, Jay Boogie, had been active in the streets since at least the early 2010s, which clearly influenced Jeff's life and the experiences he had.
I've been seeing my whole life, you know what I'm saying? I told you I got an older brother, so this nothing new for real, it's the same been seeing. Everything I was doing, I saw her.
One of the significant moments in young Jeff's life was witnessing the MDer of Kenny McAll. This traumatic event clearly left an impression on him. Another incident that had a big impact on Jeff growing up was when his family's house got shot up. According to Jeff, one of the bullets flew right past his head, adding to the violence and danger he was exposed to at a young age.
Tell us, like, who introduced you to the street life?
My brother.
Your older brother, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how was he showing you the ropes?
Let me tell you, my crib got shot up when I was like 14. I was some
While it may have seemed like Lil Jeff came out of nowhere in the drill scene, it's important to remember that he was a product of his environment, one of the most dangerous areas in Chicago throughout the 2010s and beyond. After 2020, when Jeff allegedly got involved with the Bloodhounds, heavily influenced by his older brother, there were plenty of rumors about his supposed body count. These included several names being linked to his violent past, some more obscure than others. However, when it comes to any solid proof that Jeff or the Bloodhounds were behind Lil Guda's MDer, there seems to be no real evidence. The situation is further complicated by the fact that the Hit Squad had another well-known member named Gutter 2, who was offed in 2015 allegedly by members of the Bloodhounds, making the whole case even murkier.
He wouldn't have been out there sliding doing no hit game. He the bag. He the breadwinner. He's supposed to be the bread ambassador. Like,
another name that popped up on YouTube lists connected to Jeff was Black, real name Roger Lewis, an OG member of the Evans mob. Black was often a drive-by shooting in March 20, but in his case, there was a twist. His alleged KE had already been charged and convicted by April 22, which rules out any involvement from Jeff or the Bloodhounds in that particular MDer. In 2, Jeff also lost someone close to him, a man named Jamari Lon, aka Jamin, who was allegedly affiliated with the 6679 Ames Alliance. Rumors suggested that this death might have been the spark that motivated Jeff to allegedly take revenge and off someone in return. This victim was said to have been offed outside a corner store or gas station, as Jeff and the Bloodhounds hinted at in their music. Later rumors surfaced about Jeff being involved in contract K-ings, even in Milwaukee. A photo circulated online showing Jeff hanging out with supposed local gang members from Milwaukee, a group that also appeared in a music video by rappers Ghost 53, 206, and Super Throwed Faye. This same outfit was worn by Jeff in his music video for Ninja B2, released in March 23. After Jeff's death, one of the rappers, Cracks, even changed his Instagram profile picture to one featuring Jeff, showing the lasting impact of his presence in the drill scene. Moreover, Jeff and other Bloodhound members later referenced doing contract K-ings in Milwaukee in their songs. JB Bin Laden rapped in Run But Can't Hide, about the Bloodhounds being blood for hire, hinting that they were not just street soldiers, but also took on paid hits. Lil Jeff, in his music, often referenced his violent actions and the street life he was involved in, including his claims of carrying out killings across different states. In the track LA Freestyle, Jeff rapped about someone tripping and getting off, and even mentioned being in Milwaukee, comparing himself to the NBA team, the Milwaukee Bucks. Another leaked song, BH4L, had Jeff rapping about how people know that he has bodies from state to state, claiming to be clapping people in Milwaukee for money. While fans on Reddit have fervently discussed these claims, there seems to be little concrete evidence to back them up. However, rumors surrounding Jeff's involvement in killings began to surface more significantly after the death of Z Money in March 2023. One of the first alleged victims linked to Jeff after Z Money's MDR was a young man named Lil Pooh, real name Pierre Boza Jr., who was from Jeff's old stomping grounds. Pooh was reportedly affiliated with the Flipside set, representing 93rd Street, but also had connections to the East Side, with his brother allegedly being part of the 95 mob in the Princeton Park neighborhood. Some even suggested Pooh had ties to Trap City and the Some Crew based on his Instagram profile. However, there are several instances where Lil Jeff seems to take credit for Pooh's death. On April 9th, 2020, a Chicago drill fan, Squid Ape, made a tribute post for Pooh on Instagram, which led to many comments mocking the death. When one commenter asked why there was such a reaction, Lil Jeff himself commented, saying that Pooh had been dissing Z Money. Additionally, a few days before Jeff's own death, an unreleased song of his was leaked online, where he rapped about Pooh's demise, seemingly confirming his involvement in the shooting. Jeff rapped about how Pooh had dissed Z Money and now he was gone, indicating his potential role in the tragic event. What they did and had to pay the consequence. The situation surrounding Lil Jeff, his affiliations, and the ongoing violence in Chicago's drill scene is complex and deeply rooted in the city's gang culture. After the death of Z Money in 2023, a significant shift seemed to occur, with Jeff and his Bloodhound crew focusing heavily on seeking revenge, which is often referenced in his music. In one of his tracks, 333, Jeff raps about shooting so much on Rhodes Avenue that his enemies had to shut down their operations. This line likely refers to a specific area of Chicago, Trap City, where gun violence had been escalating. Sources like Chicago Spot News report frequent gunshots in this area during the summer and fall of 2025, matching the narrative in Jeff's music. In his Striker track from February 12, Jeff further implies his crew's role in making Trap City's neighborhood a constant hotspot for police attention, further teeing his lyrics to real-life events. However, it wasn't just in Trap City where violence was erupting. The get back for Z Money, which was anticipated to occur within Trap City, unexpectedly took place much farther from their usual territory. On the 1300 block of West Taylor Street, a man named Leo, affiliated with the STL EBT set, was targeted. While sitting in a rideshare car, someone approached and opened fire through the rear passenger window, killing Leo. The rideshare driver rushed him to the hospital, but Leo was pronounced dead upon arrival. Them there seemed to be part of the ongoing retaliation against those involved in the ongoing gang war. And given the timing, it was speculated that it might have been related to the bloodshed between rival sets, including the one that had claimed Z Money's life. Jeff's association with these events and his consistent references to real-life emders and street wars in his music suggest that his involvement in this violent culture is not just a matter of reputation but of lived experience. The violence and retaliation in Chicago's gang culture remain intertwined with the city's drill scene, where rappers like Lil Jeff use their music to describe and possibly even glorify their involvement in these deadly conflicts. The ABC7 news coverage of the shooting incident at the night and following morning provided further details about the event. Locals who witnessed the shooting were interviewed, with one witness claiming that the police report indicated 8 shots fired at the car window. However, the witness insisted that they had heard more than 20 shots, which could imply that a high-powered weapon or an automatic firearm was used in the attack. So that's the story of Lil Jeff, the man they called the Evil King Von, a rapper who wasn't just talking about the streets. He was the streets. His legacy is built on a dangerous mix of talent and terror. And while some may call him a legend, others can't forget the bloodshed that followed him. Whether you love him or hate him, one thing's for sure, his name won't be forgotten anytime soon.